Thrown after years as a stand-in, my love, and I reveal true, making beg on as I had been Marcus's stand-in for 3 years. When his idealized love returned, he kicked me out, saying, "Grace, a fake is always a fake." Overnight, I became the laughingstock of the city. But they didn't know that, stripped of being blinded by love, I was the queen who shook up the global capital market. Later, as the Sterling family teetered on the brink of bankruptcy, Marcus knelt in the rain, pleading for me to return. I looked at him, an alluring and captivating smile on my face. "You want me to save you? Fine, get on your knees and beg." Grace, a fake is always a fake. Marcus's voice, like ice, struck me. Beside him stood a woman in a long white dress, her eyes curving in a gentle smile, utterly charming. It was Lily, the idealized love he'd cherished throughout his youth. She had returned. And so, I, the stand-in who had replaced her for 3 years, was to be discarded like trash. Lily leaned into Marcus's embrace, speaking softly. "Marcus, don't be so hard on Ms. Grace, after all, she was with you for 3 years." Marcus wrapped an arm around her waist, the tenderness in his eyes enough to drown someone. But when he turned to me, that tenderness instantly transformed into a sharp blade. "Get lost." One word shattered 3 years of my foolish delusion. I was escorted out of the villa I had lived in for 3 years by bodyguards, wearing only a thin nightgown. The late summer breeze blew, yet it felt bone-chilling. I looked at the warm lights emanating from the villa, at the intimate figures of the perfect couple, and overnight, I became the laughingstock of the entire city. The next day, the news of Marcus and Lily's public reconciliation spread throughout the upper echelons of society. The accompanying picture was of them kissing in the villa garden, Lily smiling blissfully. And I became the desperate, shameless stand-in. My friends sent messages, their words dripping with mockery disguised as concern. "Grace, I told you long ago, you and Mr. Marcus aren't from the same world. A stand-in needs to know her place. Now that the real one is back, you should be more sensible. Heard you got kicked out? Need me to lend you some money? Don't do anything rash." I clutched my phone, my knuckles turning white. I dialed Marcus's number again and again, but without exception, every call was hung up. Finally, he answered. But it was Lily's delicate voice on the other end. "Ms. Grace, Marcus is in the shower. Is there something you need?" She paused, as if deliberately adding, "Oh, I forgot to mention, this is Marcus's private number. Please don't call it again in the future, he doesn't want to be disturbed." The call ended. I felt as if all my strength had been drained, and I collapsed onto the cold hotel floor. A terrible void in my chest. So, this is what it feels like to be abandoned. I fell ill, a high fever that wouldn't break. In my hazy delirium, I felt as if I was back 3 years ago. At that time, Marcus's company was on the verge of collapse. It was I who pulled him back from the brink of bankruptcy, using my connections and risking everything. He had held my hand, his eyes red-rimmed, and said, "Grace, I will never fail you." His vows still echoed in my ears, yet he held another. But I still refused to give up hope. Dragging my ailing body, I went to wait for him downstairs at the Sterling building. From day to night. Finally, the familiar Rolls-Royce slowly pulled up. The car window lowered, revealing Marcus's face, cold as ice. "How long are you going to keep harassing me?" My lips were cracked, my voice hoarse. "Marcus, have you forgotten what you promised me?" He scoffed, as if he'd heard the biggest joke. "Grace, you didn't really think I loved you, did you? You were nothing more than Lily's shadow. Now that she's back, you, the shadow, should disappear." Lily, beside him, poked her head out, a victorious smile on her face, and handed me a card. "Ms. Grace, here's 3 million. Consider it Marcus's for you. Take the money and live your own life." Her dismissive tone was as if she were shooing away a beggar. My dignity was trampled underfoot, crushed to dust by them. Marcus looked at my ashen face, and as if that wasn't enough, he twisted the knife. "Oh, and your father's company seems to be having some trouble recently. If you don't want him to destroy his legacy, then disappear quietly." He used the person I cared about most to threaten me. I finally saw clearly, this man had no heart. The car sped away, splashing water onto my dress hem. I stood rooted to the spot, like a soulless statue. The pointing fingers of passers-by felt like countless needles piercing my flesh. I thought I would cry, would break down. But I didn't. I merely slowly curved my lips into a smile, and chuckled aloud. That laughter, in the silent night, sounded particularly eerie. The 3-year play was finally drawing to a close. My phone vibrated in my pocket, and I answered. On the other end, my assistant's voice was respectful and excited. "Queen, the net has been cast. Sterling stock is ready for harvesting. My smile widened, and I softly spoke 2 words into the phone. Begin. Yes, I was never the humble stand-in Grace. I was Queen, the mysterious sovereign who struck fear into the hearts of global capital. Marcus, Lily, and the entire Sterling family. Your game is over. My game is just beginning. Three days later, the global summit convened in the city. At this grand event, which brought together the world's top capital magnates, everyone eagerly awaited the appearance of one person, Queen. The mysterious Queen who, single-handedly, shook up Wall Street, yet never showed her face. Marcus was also there, as the heir to the Sterling, exuding confidence, with the charming Lily still by his side. He was joking and laughing with several CEOs, boasting about the major project he was about to see. Pure. Mr. Marcus is truly young and promising. Under your leadership, Sterling's future is boundless. Lily linked her arm through his, her face full of pride. Just then, the conference hall doors opened, and all the lights suddenly converged on one spot. I walked slowly into the hall, clad in a tailor-made red suit, wearing 10-centimeter heels, escorted by a retinue of bodyguards. Red lips, sunglasses, a commanding presence. The entire hall fell silent instantly. All eyes were on me, shock, confusion, scrutiny. I removed my sunglasses, a slight curve to my red lips, and walked directly to the main podium. Marcus's smile froze. Lily, beside him, covered her mouth in shock. Gra Grace? I ignored them, picked up the microphone, my gaze sweeping across the room, my voice clear and cold. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Queen. It sent shockwaves through the industry. The entire room erupted. I looked at Marcus, whose face had turned ashen below the stage, and my smile deepened. I am here today to announce one thing. My next target. I paused, then raised a finger, pointing it directly at him. The group. The moment my words fell, the entire financial world exploded. Mysterious is true revealed, Sterling CEO's ex-girlfriend. Queen declares, vows to short group. The headlines were more explosive than the last. Sterling stock plummeted in response, hitting its daily limit down less than 10 minutes after opening. Countless shareholders dumped their shares, partners called to terminate agreements, and banks demanded repayment. Marcus was frantic and overwhelmed, looking as if he had aged 10 years. He couldn't fathom how Grace, who had been utterly devoted to him and at his beck and call, could be the legendary Queen. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. She must have hired someone to impersonate her. He roared wildly in his office, sweeping documents to the floor. Lily was pale with terror, stammering to comfort him. Marcus, don't worry. Maybe it's due. A joke. A joke? Does this look like a joke to you? Marcus shoved her away, his eyes bloodshot as he dialed my phone. The call connected. Grace, what exactly do you want? He bellowed. I was leisurely getting a French manicure, and at his words, I chuckled softly. Mr. Marcus, you should be calling me Queen now. You. Oh, right, I interrupted him. I, for one, never liked fakes. Whether in love or business. How you treated me then, I will return 100-fold now. Hanging up the phone, I looked at my brightly polished nails, a satisfied smile on my face. This was just the beginning. Marcus, slowly enjoy the feast I prepared for you. For the group's crisis escalated, pushing it to the brink of liquidation. Marcus tried everything, pleaded with everyone he knew, but he met with a cold shoulder. No one dared to offend me at this point. Finally, he couldn't hold on any longer. Through his assistant, he arranged a meeting with me in the Sterling's top-floor conference room. When I arrived, he had already been waiting a long time. The once arrogant man was now in a wrinkled suit, with a stubbled face and dark circles under his eyes. He saw me, struggled to his feet, his lips mumbling, but not a single word came out. I gracefully walked to the head of the table and sat down, my legs crossed, watching him with an air of composure. Mr. Marcus, how can I help you? He dropped to his knees before me with a thud. Grace.no, Queen. I was wrong. I was truly wrong. He cried heartbrokenly, completely stripped of his former pride. Please spare Sterling, spare me. I'll do anything, if only you let go. I watched his humble state, feeling not a ripple of emotion, and even a little amusement. Spare you? I stood up, walked to him, bent down, and used my red-polished fingertip to lift his chin. Our eyes met. I could clearly see the fear and pleading in his eyes. Marcus, do you remember? 3 years ago, my father knelt like this, begging your father to have mercy and not to destroy him completely. His pupils contracted sharply. You thought you knew everything? I smiled, an alluring and captivating smile, yet also incredibly cruel. Not only do I know, I also know that my father's death was no accident at all. It was your father who orchestrated it. Marcus was utterly stunned, collapsing to the floor, his face ashen and lifeless. No. Impossible. My dad. Impossible? I sneered. Did you really think I stayed by your side for 3 years because I was madly in love with you? I'm telling you, from the moment I stepped into the Sterling family mansion, everything I did was for this day. To collect evidence of your father's crimes, to make your family pay for their crimes. I flung a stack of documents in his face. They detailed all of Sterling's shady dealings over the years, as well as all the evidence of his father's contracted murder. Marcus fumbled through the pages with trembling hands, each one bringing him one step closer to hell. Just then, the conference room door was violently pushed open. Lily burst in. She saw Marcus kneeling on the floor and me, and shrieked, "Grace! You bitch! What did you do to Marcus?" She flailed wildly, lunging at me. My bodyguards immediately stepped forward and stopped her. I looked at this woman, still living in a dream world, and found her pathetic and laughable. Lily, do you really think Marcus loved you? You were just a tool for him to get rid of me and soothe his pathetic self-esteem. Lily's face drained of color. You're lying. Am I lying? I took a tablet from my assistant and played a video. In the video, Marcus was talking to another man. What are you going to do about Lily? Just for fun. I'll break up with her when things cool down. Grace was easier, though it's a shame she found out what she shouldn't have. Lily's face instantly lost all color. It turned out the love she prided herself on was nothing more than a joke. She wasn't his idealized love, she was just a disposable plaything too. 5 Lily went insane. She shrieked and cursed, and was finally dragged out by the bodyguards. In the conference room, only Marcus and I remained. He was dazed and distraught. Now, do you have anything else to say? I looked down at him. He seemed to be drained of all spirit and energy, mumbling, why did this happen? I couldn't be bothered to waste any more words on him and turned to leave. But he suddenly lunged forward, hugging my legs. Grace! I was wrong. I know I was wrong. He cried like a child. You're right, my dad deserved what he got. But I wasn't involved. These 3 years, I was sincere with you. Except for the Lily matter, I never did anything to betray you. Please give me another chance, okay? Let's start over. I stopped, looking down at him. Sincere? What a monumental joke. Marcus, do you know the most pathetic thing about a fake? He looked at me blankly. It always believes it can one day become the real thing. And you're not even worthy of being a fake. I kicked him away and walked out without looking back. Sterling was finished. Marcus's father was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment. Marcus himself ended up in prison for multiple charges. The once illustrious Sterling family utterly collapsed overnight. Everyone said I was ruthless and manipulative, an emotionless revenge machine. They were right. My emotions had died along with my father on the day of his tragic death. A year later, as an outstanding young entrepreneur, I was invited back to my alma mater to give a speech. After the speech, I was about to leave when I saw a familiar yet strange figure at the school gate. It was Marcus. He was thinner and tanner, wearing a simple t-shirt and jeans, devoid of his former elegance and refinement. He must have been released from prison early. He saw me, his eyes complex, guilt, remorse, and a hint of longing. He hurried towards me, blocking my path. Grace. His voice was hoarse. I looked at him, expressionless. Can I help you? He seemed nervous, rubbing his hands together. After I got out, I found a job washing dishes at a restaurant. I know I wronged you in the past, and I don't ask for your forgiveness. I just wanted to see you again. It began to rain, heavy raindrops began to fall, quickly soaking his hair and clothes. But he seemed not to notice, standing stubbornly before me. Grace, I know I have nothing now, I'm unworthy of you. But I will work hard, I will rise again. Will you wait for me? The rain grew heavier, soaking him to the bone, looking pathetic, like a stray dog. A bodyguard held an umbrella over me, stepping to my side. I looked at him, and suddenly, I smiled. You want me to wait for you? A spark of hope ignited in his eyes. Sure. I looked at him, an alluring and captivating smile on my face. Get on your knees and beg me. Marcus's body stiffened. The light in his eyes slowly dimmed. Rainwater streamed down his cheeks. I couldn't tell if it was rain or tears. He looked at me, his lips moved, and finally, he slowly bent his knees. Just as his knees were about to touch the ground, I spoke. Never mind. He froze. I shook my head, unimpressed. Marcus, I won't wait for you, and I certainly won't look back. Do you know why? I took a step forward, leaned close to his ear, and whispered softly, in a voice only we two could hear, because 3 years ago, the car accident I saved you from? The driver was arranged by me. His eyes widened in shock, looking at me in disbelief. That accident allowed me to naturally become your savior, and Lily's stand-in. Not only did I want to destroy the Sterling family, I also wanted to make you fall in love with me, and then personally crush that love. To make you taste what it's like to fall from the clouds into the mud. Your ridiculous love for me was the perfect trophy in my revenge plan. I straightened up, enjoying his face, contorted by extreme shock and pain. His world, at that moment, utterly shattered. It turned out that what he thought was salvation was a scheme. What he thought was love was a conspiracy. From beginning to end, he was merely a pawn on my chessboard. A disposable pawn. I didn't look at Marcus again, turning and getting into the car. In the rearview mirror, he stood like a statue, motionless in the pouring rain. From then on, his life had nothing more to do with mine. My assistant handed me some documents. Queen, this is the plan for the next quarter. I took it and opened it. The rain outside gradually stopped, and a rainbow arched across the sky. I leaned back in my seat, looking at the vibrant colors, and let out a long sigh of relief. My vengeance was complete, and the dust had settled. My life, too, was ready to turn a new page. My phone rang. It was an unknown number. I casually answered. On the other end, a deep, magnetic male voice, tinged with a lazy smile, spoke. Hello, Queen. I'm your new neighbor, and your next opponent. I look forward to our match. I raised an eyebrow. Opponent? Interesting. I looked out the window, the curve of my lips widening. All right. I'm waiting. My world was never short of challengers. And I would always be the ultimate winner. Thanks for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section, so feel free to share your opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. See you next time.